of my most asked questions is, how did I get started with flipping cars? And honestly, it's really straightforward and it's pretty simple. What I did was I basically saved up my money for my job and I went ahead and just purchased a car. And that first purchase of a vehicle off OfferUp, which is my case, I use OfferUp, allowed me to open up more doors and opportunities for myself, especially when it came to flipping cars. I bought a BMW, and the BMW community is massive. So after I purchased that BMW, it allowed me to open up doors and opportunities that I'd never seen before. I sold the BMW to somebody that was a dealer, and I asked him, how'd you get your dealer license? Prior to me getting my dealer license, I was just a lifeguard. I was lifeguarding for 4 years, ever since I was 16. And I was making anywhere between $9 to $12 an hour. And people ask me all the time, if I were to start over and go back, what would I do? And the first thing I would do is just get a job. I think that's the most important aspect to any endeavor that you want to start your own business, is having a steady, reliable income. Because if you jump into this without having that steady, reliable income, you can lose a lot of money. And like I said, being able to make sound decisions, build your credit. Building your credit is so important. I have so many people in my community who struggle with credit that I've helped them get trade lines or get business funding and things like that, just because, they weren't aware of it. And they don't teach you, about, how to get funding or how to do credit in school. That's one thing that you kind of have to learn on your own. But the beautiful thing about the day and age that we live in, there's so much shared information online that you can really learn. So there's no excuse really to not have, a understanding on how you can leverage your credit to go ahead and make opportunities, business opportunities for yourself. So getting a job and establishing a credit is really important before you get started. I think it's the most important thing before you get started, because with any business decision, you need to make sure you are able to fund yourself and take care of yourself in times of need. Like, when I needed money and I didn't have enough liquid capital, I would use my credit. I'll give you an example. I bought a M340 just a year and a half ago. It was a 2023 M340, had 1,300 miles, and I didn't have enough money to buy the car from the auction. So I ended up putting $15,000 on a credit card, and that helped me. I had $35,000 liquid and $15,000 on my credit card, and that helped me leverage, into a better situation for myself, especially being able to use credit. So I think that's so important when getting started in any business endeavor, is making sure you have the funds and making sure you have the credit. So now that you have those two things established, the next step is going to go ahead and purchase your first car. You do not need to start with getting your dealer license, especially if you don't know shit about cars. Because what's going to happen is, if you go ahead and get your dealer license, you don't know shit about cars, you are just going to be completely lost going to these auctions. You'll think every single car looks good, and when it's just makeup on a pig, it's a piece of shit. I made that mistake when I started buying cars and not really having the wherewithal, but I ended up going head first, and honestly it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. But for you're a beginner, I recommend starting on Facebook Marketplace, seeing if this is something that you really are passionate about and that you want to do. Because at the end of the day, yeah, sure, you can start a business, right? But is that business going to make you money? So I think that is the most important aspect, is if the business will make you money in the long run. And then lastly, let's say after you purchase a car and then you want to resell it back on Marketplace, the next step is going to go ahead and take it to the next level. Let's say you want to flip multiple cars. In most states, you can only flip 5 cars a year. So if you can only flip 5 cars and register and title them 5 cars a year, that really limits you on how many cars you can flip. I flip between 10 to 15 cars a month. That averages out between $2,500 to $3,000 profit on every vehicle. You do the math, that's between $30,000 and $40,000. This has allowed me to fund my lifestyle. If you're coming from Instagram, you'll be able to see I've been buying and selling cars for a really long time. So if I were to start from zero, like I said, funding, which is getting a job, then I'll work on my credit, which is extremely important. Then after credit, I'll go ahead and purchase my first car on Marketplace, try and understand, if flipping cars is something I really want to do. And then after doing that, I'll go ahead and try to obtain my dealer license. Getting a dealer license really allows you to flip as many cars as you want. You could sell damn near 1,000, 2,000 cars if you wanted as an independent dealer. There's no limitations. The only limitations is yourself, right? So, establishing that after you get your dealer license, you really need to start building up a good network of mechanics, tire shops, body shops, everything that you need for a vehicle. You need to build those relationships so you won't be lost in the sauce after you purchase a vehicle that's fucked up, that you don't know what to do. You're on YouTube, you're trying to be a YouTube mechanic. We don't have time for that. We're trying to go ahead and get a quick return and maximize our business. So getting your dealer license, build your connections, and then start flipping and buying and selling cars and build that reputation for yourself. You're that guy that people go to first for cars in your city. You know, I've sold so many cars to my friends, family, things like that. But like, you know, you want to be that go-to guy that can get them into the auction. The auctions carry the same fucking cars that, you know, these used car dealerships sell. So they're going to the same places that these dealerships are going to. So it's really not anything that's going to be stopping you from obtaining the potential of maximizing a dealer license and making money. Cars are like real estate. Everybody needs it. You know, we have a saying in the car community or the dealer community, there's an ass for every seat, and that's the honest to God truth. There's absolutely an ass for every seat. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. I'm going to be more consistent on posting content like this and just dropping down free value. And I appreciate all the love and support I've been getting. So like I said, go ahead and drop a comment if you're ready to go ahead and get your dealer license. Say I'm in. And then if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them on Instagram. Go ahead and message me. Take care.